Sometimes I look around these windows and I look around these mountains and I wonder what kind of stories they hold. Back in the railroad days, when John Henry was a legend right here in West Virginia, we know him for his strength, but also for what he stood for. Man against the machine, fighting to prove that human value meant something. Next time you're driving through town, any town in any of these small mountain communities, look around and pay attention. Who's building? Who's leaving? Where's the money flowing? Like water down a mountainside? The stories are there if you know how to read them. And just like our ancestors used to read these mountains to stay alive, we need to read these changes so that we can help our communities survive. We've got our own John Henrys, don't we? Not racing against steam drills, but still fighting to prove their worth. These hills hold stories of company towns, where every house, every store, even the doctor's office belong to the company. Sound familiar? Today we might not call them company towns, but look close enough, you'll see patterns. Who owns the buildings? Where does the money really go? Just like our grandparents taught us to read the signs of nature, we need to read the signs in our changing communities to keep them alive. You can go to Google News and just type in West Virginia mine closures, and you can see news stories from West Virginia, Illinois, Wyoming, 700 jobs, 300 jobs, 430 jobs across the coal fields being closed down. Now, our grandparents, they knew something about reading signs. And it wasn't just superstition, it was something just called knowing. All it was just paying attention and seeing patterns. Hell, on Sesame Street, they used to teach us, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. When a mine closes, folks on TV might tell you it's just business, but our people, sitting in the chairs like the ones that used to be right here, they'd piece things together. They'd notice how the company's men's cars got fancier, while safety equipment got scarier, how promises would flow like creek water in a spring, right before things dried up and moved away. You see, in Appalachia, we've always known that survival means paying attention. Our ancestors watched the clouds to know when the storms were coming. They read the plants to know what could heal. Maybe today we need to learn to read different signs. But the skill that paying attention, putting pieces together, that's something we've always used. I'm not here to tell you what to think. That's not our way. I'm here to pass on what I know, give you the skills to see clearly, and let you put the pieces together. Because I know when you really look at your town, and you look at your county, and you look at the state, patterns start emerging clear as day. The stories are there if you know how to read them. And just like our ancestors used to read these mountains to stay alive, we need to read these changes so that we can help our communities survive. Remember what the old folks used to say? Knowledge is like water, free from a mountain spring. It belongs to everybody, but you've got to be willing to know where to go look for it. And you've got to be willing to share it with everybody when you find it.